It is.
Monday, November
Hold on.
Oh, hold on a second.
3:30 p.m.
Dan.
Sorry, Chamber of
Dan, hold on a
Commerce.
second. You're gonna have to restart it.
Meeting. So, number one, we already accomplished. Call the meeting to order. Item number 2, public comment. Is there any
Okay.
public comment?
There's no public here, so.
No public comment. Okay, hearing none. Well, let's move to item number 3, 2024 budget. Sub A is to review the 2024 budget. I think unless somebody else needs additional review, we can move to sub B, which would be the grant applications. And then if everybody's okay, we'll go to the one item that is still outstanding, which would be the Lincoln County Fair. And then after that, we'll get the final numbers. I did some calculations. We'll make sure that it adds up to everybody. And then one final motion to approve the overall 2024
Jeremy's just walking in.
budget. Does that sound okay to everybody?
Sure.
Jeremy just walked in, Dan.
Jeremy just walked in, okay? Let me know when he's set.
Give me a minute, Dan, hold.
Okay.
I think we need to let him know. And let Dan know.
Okay, we're ready. Go ahead.
Ready to roll, okay? Welcome, Jeremy.
Thank you.
Okay, so we are on the 2024 tourism grant funding requests, and just for a real quick 2-cent tour for Jeremy, we accomplished almost all of this last week at our meeting. The reason why we are back here is we did not have enough members overall to vote on our overall budget and individually the fair request, just due to the fact that we had 2 members that would have had to recuse themselves or abstain, and we only had 2 additional members, myself and Sarah, that would have been able to vote, which wasn't enough. So the levels that we had set prior to this, I'll just go through. This is what I had for the sled dogs. Request was 400. Suggested amount that we decided upon was 400. Lions Car Show Labor Day requested 1,500. We suggested 1,200. Lincoln County Fair was just discussed to keep it at 16,000. And Wisconsin River Pro Rodeo request 20,000. 16,000 we had suggested. Concertina request 450, granted 450. Ice Drags requested 5,000, granted 4,000. Black Squirrel Scurry 1,000 requested, granted 1,000. Underdown Trail Ride 850, 850. Underdown Fat Tire Bike Races requested 250, granted 250. And Carry the Cross requested anywhere between 1,000 and 10,000, and we granted 0 just because they don't even have a date yet. It seemed like they weren't quite ready
And
with
the
the details
application
that
was
we
also
needed to
late.
commit funding to them. So according to that, if we stick with where we were at, we knew that going into it, our budget was about $14,050 over what we were comfortable at, or where we should have been. With the adjustments that we made, if we include making the fair and the rodeo even like we had the couple of years prior, that takes us down to $15,300 that we shaved off of the requests. So the requested amounts total without, before we made decisions was 55,450, minus 15,300, totaling 40,150. Is that what you guys all have?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So I guess how do you guys like, if there's any discussion, anybody want to discuss anything or
I
relate to
think
the fair?
the only thing I would say, Dan, is to ask Jeremy if he's got any opinions on any of this, or
No, pretty straightforward. I'm good.
Okay. All right. So would anybody care to make a suggested amount for the Lincoln County Fair?
that would have to come down to you and.
My suggested amount, I think, would be leaving it at the 16,000 request that they made as you outlined in the recommendations that we had come up with.
I'm good with that.
Okay. So is that a motion?
But they would need,
Do
we need a motion to.
Right, you're gonna need a motion to accept that.
did we make motions on the other ones?
We did. Okay, so do we have
No.
consensus then?
We did not, but unfortunately, the way we'll have to do this.
No, we have to,
We have to.
a motion has to be accepted for all funding.
Yep, so let's back up though. So not a motion, I meant a suggestion and consensus. Do we have suggestion and consensus on
Correct.
fair?
Correct.
Correct. Yes.
Sounds like it.
We do, okay. All right, so hearing that, then, do we have a motion to accept all of our suggested amounts, which would total 40,150 with our adjustments that we have made?
I'll make that motion to accept the projected amounts for each of the events.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Okay, hearing none. All of those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Those opposed? Motion carries. Okay, so we have that part set up. So according to my calculations, then if we plug in the 40,150 to our overall 2024 tourism operating budget, that gets me to $103,750. Is that what everyone else has?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Cheryl?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So I guess if there's anybody have any discussion as it pertains to the overall budget, or are we okay with a motion to go ahead with that amount?
I'll make a motion to approve the budget as presented.
Okay, we have a motion.
I'll second it.
We got a second? I didn't hear it. Was there a second?
There was a
Yes.
second, yes.
Sarah,
Sarah seconded.
Yes.
Loud.
Okay, got you. Sorry about that.
Yeah, speak from the guts,
All right,
Sarah.
is there any
We
discussion?
never end up.
The
Discussion?
only thing I want to point out, just make sure that we're confirmed at 103,750.
correct.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, if we're at that, all of those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion is carried. We have a 2024 budget. Thank you very much,
Praise the
everybody.
Lord.
Thank you, everyone. Item number 4 is set date and time for the next meeting. We typically do that at the call of the chair, or
Yep.
if there's
Call of the
need.
chair.
So we would most likely meet sometime.
If I could make a suggestion, this is just strictly just my request. With my work schedule, it'd be easier for me to make almost any meeting on a Thursday or Friday, if possible.
Okay?
My Monday through Wednesdays are very, very chaotic, very hectic.
Okay.
Almost as much as my old job.
Make note of that.
I mean, that's not a hard
And then we will
request
look
at that
to
point.
see if we can plan a meeting that's our spring meeting, possibly on a Thursday or a Friday, okay?
Perfect, thank you.
All right. That takes us to item number 5, adjournment.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second. Nate's got
We
it.
have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We are adjourned.